Hey everyone, welcome to another video and the first of the actual Atlantic hurricane season videos on the actual tropical cyclones that have formed. And we earlier today officially finally got the first named storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, Tropical Storm Alberto, which currently has sustained winds of 40 miles per hour and a minimum central pressure of 995 millibars. It's moving directly west at 9 miles per hour towards the northern Mexico coast. And just before we jump into exactly where it's tracking towards the Mexican coastline, we also have this other area of interest that has a low chance of development over the next 2 to 7 days of becoming a tropical cyclone. It likely won't. The environmental conditions are marginally conducive for some gradual development of the system during the next few days while it moves westward and west-northwestward. However, the system is forecast to approach the coast of the southeastern United States by Friday. So it really likely will not form within that time frame. It just doesn't look too likely at this point. However, there is another area of interest right in the exact same location that Alberto has formed in, which has a 0% chance of development in the next 2 days to form, but a low 30% chance of development within the next 7 days. It says, and with that, it says another broad area of low pressure is forecast to develop over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico this weekend. Environmental conditions are expected to be conducive for gradual development of this system through early next week while it moves slowly west-northwestward or northwestward. So we could actually still see Beryl, the second named storm of the season, being named heading into this weekend or the beginning of next week in the exact same general region that Alberto has formed in. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that as we continue throughout this week and heading into this weekend and next week. Now let's take a closer look at Alberto and see where the National Hurricane Center is forecasting this system to move and eventually make landfall in. It looks like it will be making landfall late tonight into early tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, likely around 6 a.m. or so Central Time. And you can see tropical storm warnings are in effect from the southern coastal areas of Texas, including Corpus Christi, all the way down through most of the northern Mexican coastline. Now, there is some storm surge, rainfall, and flash flooding potential, heavy rainfall and flash flooding potential with this system. So let's take a look at the storm surge forecast. You can see a maximum of 2 to 4 feet is forecast into the heading into the Galveston area, and as well from Sargent all the way towards Sabin Pass, Texas, with 1 to 3 feet of storm surge forecast for the remainder of that southern and the rest of the coast of Texas, with 1 to 3 feet of storm surge forecast as well for the very western parts of the Louisiana coastline. Now let's look at the rainfall potential. And you can see, especially as Alberto moves inland and starts to weaken and dissipate, it will dump most of its rain into the mountains of Mexico, where up to between 20 and 30 inches of rainfall is forecast in those heaviest, or in those tallest of mountain peaks. Elsewhere and along the coast, generally 2 to 4 to 4 to 6 inches of rainfall are likely, with 6 to 8 to 8 to 12 inches of rainfall forecast as you get into the beginnings of those higher elevations and mountains. Now, let's take a look at the flash flooding potential, and you can see that over the next 3 days, but especially today through Thursday morning, so really overnight into tomorrow morning, moderate risk of flash flooding really and throughout the very southern parts of Texas, including Corpus Christi down through Brownsville. Now, let's look at what Alberto currently looks like on Tropical Tidbits. You can see here on the IR satellite imagery in the loop that you can see the convection. The center is exposed. It's generally in this area and is exposed. However, there is convection blowing up all around it, and especially stronger convection to the south of it, heading over towards the Yucatan and parts of the northern Mexican coastline. It is moving directly westward towards this area of the coast of Mexico, bringing with it heavy rain, flash flood risk, and storm surge risk. Now let's take a look and see what recon has found up to this point. There's only been one recon mission through Alberto. It's already finished. Low-level reconnaissance. It's generally found sustained winds between that 35 to 40 knot zone. So currently it is slated at 35 knots, which is 40 miles per hour, and a central pressure of 995 millibars. Now, let's take a look at some of the forecast models, starting out with the GFS American model. And let's take a look at that area where Alberto is in. So let's go to the Western Atlantic area. So you can see this is Alberto, this whole rainy mess here. And as we move forward in time, by the way, this is the 12Z run of the GFS. The 18Z run should start coming in within the next hour or so. So let's move this forward in time. And you see Alberto goes, it makes landfall in Mexico, dissipates. And then you can see here is this next system starting to approach the Yucatan and head into the Gulf. And here we go. Here's this beginning of a closed low pressure area that the GFS has shown for around 6Z Saturday, June 22nd, this upcoming Saturday at 2 a.m. Or actually, is it 1 a.m. now? I can't remember with this whole time change difference. But we move this forward in time. You can see it's basically going in the exact same direction as Alberto did, into that same general region and making landfall in that general same area in the northern Mexican coastline, bringing with it once again another chance of heavier than normal rainfall, flash flooding risk, and maybe some storm surge risk as well. So that will be very interesting to watch over the next week or so. And you can see this is that other low chance area of interest the National Hurricane Center is monitoring, that's heading towards the southeast coast. And the GFS does not really have it doing anything, maybe bringing some enhanced rainfall eventually towards that area, towards the very end of this week, into the beginning of this weekend. But it's really, we're going to be watching Alberto through its whole lifetime until it dissipates, and then especially this next area going into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, that's going into the same area that Alberto is in right now over the next week. That will be the main concern and most interesting thing to watch over this rest of this weekend into the next week. So, as I said, the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season has officially started back on June 1st. However, we have not gotten our first named storm until today, June 19th, which you can see right here says, even though many major forecasting agencies have predicted a well above average activity for the season had the slowest start since 2014, as the first named storm, Tropical Storm Alberto, did not develop until June 19th, as I just said. It also marked the latest start for both the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific basins combined since 1994. So, as of right now, most of the major agencies forecasting this Atlantic hurricane season are saying that we'll likely see at least 20 named storms, more than likely at least 10 hurricanes, and generally at least 3 or 4 major hurricanes, possibly up to 7, according to NOAA's most recent or first forecast on May 23rd. I will have my first 2024 Atlantic hurricane season forecast uploaded within the next day or two. I will have that recorded and uploaded soon. That will include Alberto having already formed, but I will most likely have same general first forecast as most of these agencies up to this point. However, it does look like this year's Atlantic hurricane season is going to start off as a slow starting hurricane season, and if we do get much more active than normal season, seemingly it will be a pretty heavy backloaded season, or if not a very heavy peak of the season to back-end loaded season with most of the activity. So we'll just have to see and wait to find out. But at this point, we have now finally had our first named storm, Tropical Storm Alberto, 40 miles per hour, 995 millibars at this point. It seems like that will be its peak, and will bring a lot of heavy rainfall, some minor storm surge threats, and some gusty winds to Mexico and the southern Texas coastline. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Really hope you found it informative, helpful. If you did, comment down below what you guys think will happen with Alberto. How much rainfall do you think will actually fall? What do you think the storm surge amounts will look like? Do you think the Mexican coastline and Texas coastline could see higher amounts than 1 to 3 feet or 2 to 4 feet? What are you thinking? Comment below, subscribe for future content like this throughout the rest of the hurricane season, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.